Predicting is hard and pretty much useless for an investor. But it's a fun exercise to do, for me at least. So in this video, I will throw some predictions, and what will be interesting to do is to come back in 6 to 12 months to see how the landscape will have evolved. Also, my predictions are very much focused on the impact of generative AI on the B2B software industry. I'm not knowledgeable enough to do any prediction on the underlying tech, so don't expect that in these predictions. This is the number one question that many VCs will ask themselves. Will Salesforce be disrupted by an up-and-coming generative AI-powered startup? Same with HubSpot, Datadog, or any other big SaaS company. And if it's true, if yes, how can we invest in these disruptors? And as with every new tech wave, we find out that the answer is no. In the case of generative AI, I think it will be even more the case for two main reasons. First, because most companies in the application layer will use existing LLMs providers, such as OpenAI. So 99% of the application won't have a unique tech advantage. It's too costly and complex for a company in the application layer to build a transformer that performs better than what is already available. The second reason is that incumbents have the resources and proprietary data that enable them to build their own specific transformers tailored to their needs. I don't think that most of them will just be sitting ducks. I believe the opposite. They will be fast to integrate generative AI features in their product. It's already what we see with Notion, for example, which is testing an AI copywriting tool, or Salesforce, which is developing its own large language model with CodeGen. At the end of the day, it's even possible that generative AI actually increases the defensibility of the existing big players. If I don't believe that incumbent companies will be disrupted, I do believe that we'll see amazing native generative AI startups emerge in the months/years to come. By native AI companies, I mean products that are not possible without the use of generative AI at their core. In the application layer, I think that we can distinguish horizontal native AI startups from vertical native AI startups. In terms of horizontal startups, we already have companies such as Copy.ai or Jasper.ai that have reached tens of millions of dollars of yearly revenue and are valued at $1 billion. Many people will argue that they have no defensibility in terms of pure AI tech, which is true, but in the B2B software world, moats often don't come from the tech itself, but more from the execution, the capacity to put in place a great sales motion, to build a great brand, to build a product which is well integrated into the existing customer stack, to go up market successfully, etc., etc. So while many of these companies cannot offer unique performance in terms of pure generative AI output, they can nevertheless be defensible with amazing execution at the levels we just mentioned. In terms of vertical startups in the application layer, the story is different. I believe that there are some great opportunities for startups to focus on specific types of data sets, or specific use cases/industries. In this case, vertical startups can have some tech defensibility if they manage to develop their own large language model or to customize the existing ones. Some verticals such as drug discovery sounds obvious, but I'm sure that we'll see more vertical specific AI companies emerge. In the middleware/infrastructure/API layer, I also think that we'll see great companies rise thanks to the current AI democratization. My current belief is that given the nature of large language models, the AI revolution for B2B software is similar to the cloud hosting revolution that happened in the 2000s and gave birth to the software in the cloud model. For B2B software, implementing AI features will be like using Amazon Web Service for hosting. Most companies need it, but most cannot manage cloud hosting themselves because it requires resources and knowledge that they don't have. This is why most companies use the cloud infrastructure services provided by Amazon Web Service, Microsoft, or Google. And similar to cloud hosting, developing your own transformer makes no sense for most companies. And similar to what is happening with cloud providers, performance-wise, OpenAI and the other major LLM providers benefit from economies of scale and other advantages that most companies cannot compete with. All of this to say that, like what has happened with cloud hosting, we will have a few huge winners in the transformer layer, But in the middleware slash infra slash API layer, we will likely have a blossoming ecosystem of great companies which aim is to help power this democratization of AI in B2B products, which will lead to a similar situation than in the cloud stack, where you have just a few big winners in the hosting space. Again, Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. But you have many more VC compatible and big businesses in the infrastructure layer. I might be wrong with this one, but I personally believe that text prompts are only a first step in how we interact with generative AI. At the moment, to generate a picture on DALL-E, you need to write a text prompt. Same with many of the examples that I showed in the video dedicated to concrete use cases. But having myself use software that generates pictures, also a couple of AI-powered video editors, and several AI-powered marketing tools, I believe that text prompts won't be the main way we interact with this software. Don't mistake me, text prompts will be available for specific needs or for advanced use cases, but the majority of the time, generative AI will be hidden behind shortcuts and templates. For example, when I use Jasper AI or Lex to write a piece of content, I use their shortcuts to generate a new paragraph, to get suggestions for a title, or to rewrite a paragraph I wrote myself. I'm not constantly writing text prompts to interact with this software. It would be too cumbersome in my opinion. My point is that there's maybe an opportunity to invent new ways to interact with AI-powered B2B software, like the mobile introduce the swipe right or left interactions, or the drag down to update content on the mobile screen.